Hello everyone. Today we discuss about budget and budgetary control. Unit 4, Part 2. The meaning and definition of budget and budgeting and budgetary control. So a budget is the monetary and or quantitative expression of business plans and policies to be pursued in the future period of time. Budgeting is preparing budgets and other procedures for planning, coordinations, and control or business enterprises. A financial and or quantitative statements prepared prior to a defined period of time of the policy to be pursued during that period for the purpose of attaining a given objective. Budgeting refers to the process of preparing the budgets. It involves a detailed study of business environment, clearly grasping the management objectives, the available resources of the enterprise and capacity of the enterprise. The entire process of preparing the budgets is known as budgeting. Thus, budgeting is a process of making the budget plans. Preparations of budgets or budgeting is a planning function and their implementations is a control functions also. Budgetary control starts with budgeting and ends with control. Budgetary control is the process of preparations of budgets for various activities and comparing the budgeted figures for arriving at deviations, if any, which are to be eliminated in future. Thus, budget is a means and budgetary control is the end result. Budgetary control is a continuous process which helps in planning and coordination. It also provides a method of control. Budgetary control is a system of coordinating cost which includes the preparation of budgets, coordinating the work of departments and establishing responsibilities, comparing the actual performance with the budgeted and acting upon results to achieve maximum profitability. As planning in advance of the various functions of a business so that the business as a whole is controlled. The establishment of budgets relating the responsibilities of executives to the requirements of a policy and the continuous comparisons of actual with budgeted results either to secure by individual actions the objectives of that policy or to provide a basis for its revision. A budgetary control system can be defined as the establishment of budget relating to the responsibilities of executives to the requirements of a policy and the continuous comparisons of actual with budgeted results either to secure by individual action the objectives of that policy or to provide a base for its revisions. Determining the objectives to be achieved over the budget period and the policy or policies that might be adopted for the achievement of these aims. Activities determining the variety of activities that should be undertaken for the achievement of the objectives. Plans drawing up a plan or a scheme of operations in respect of each class of activity in physical as well as monetary terms for the full budget period and its part. Performance evaluations laying out a system of comparisons of actual performance by each person, sections or department with with the relevant budget and determinations of causes for the discrepancies if any, control action, ensuring that corrective actions will be taken where the plan is not being achieved and if that is not possible for the revisions of the plan. Now, objectives of budgetary control. First, planning. A budget provides a detailed plan of action for a business over a definite period of time. Detailed plans relating to production, sales, raw materials requirements, labor needs, advertisement and sales promotions, performance, research and development activities. Capital additions, etc., are drawn up by planning. Many problems are anticipated long before they arise, and solutions can be sought through careful study. Thus, most business emergencies can be avoided by planning. In brief, budgeting forces the management to think ahead, to anticipate and prepare for the anticipated conditions. Now, coordinations. Budgeting aids managers in coordinating their efforts so that objectives of the organization as a whole and harmonize with the objectives of its divisions. Effective planning and organizing contributes a lot in achieving coordination. There should be coordinations in the budgets of various departments. For example, the budget of sales should be in coordinations with the budget of productions. Similarly, production budget should be prepared in coordinations with the purchase budget, and so on. Now, communication. A budget is a communication device. The approved budget copies are distributed to all management personnel who provide not only adequate understanding and knowledge of the programs and policies to be followed, but also gives knowledge about the restrictions to be adhered to. So it is not the budget itself that facilitates communication, but the vital information is communicated in the act of preparation budgets and participation of all responsible individuals in this act. Now, motivation. A budget is a useful device for motivating managers to perform in line with the company objectives. If individuals have actively participated in the preparations of budgets, it acts as a strong motivating forces to achieve the target. Control. Control is necessary to ensure that plans and objectives as laid down in the budgets are being achieved. Control as applied to budgeting is a systemized effort to keep the management informed of whether planned performance is being achieved or not. For this purpose, a comparison is made between plans and actual performance. The difference between the two is reported to the management for asking corrective actions also. Now, performance evaluation. A budget provides a useful means of information managers how well they are performing in meeting targets they have previously helped to set. In many companies, there is a practice of rewarding employees on the basis of their achieving the budget targets, or promotions of a manager may be linked to this budget achievement record. Now, advantages of budgetary control. A budget is a blueprint of a plan expressed in quantitative terms. Budgeting is technique for formulating budgets. Budgetary control, on the other hand, refers to the principles, procedures, and practices of achieving given objectives through budgets. So, here are some advantages of budgetary control. First, maximization of profit. The budgetary control aims at the maximization of profits of the enterprise. To achieve these aims, a proper planning and coordination of different functions is undertaken. There is proper control over various capital and revenue expenditure. The resources are put to the best possible use. Efficiency. It enables the management to conduct its business activities in an efficient manner. Effective utilizations of scarce resources, that is, main materials, machinery, method, and money, is made possible. Specific aims. The plans, policies, and goals are decided by the top management. All efforts are put together to reach the common goal of the organizations. Every department is given a target to be achieved. The efforts are directed towards achieving come specific aims. If there is no defined or definite aim, then the effort will be wasted in pursuing different aims. Performance evaluations. It provides a yardstick for measuring and evaluating the performance of individuals and their departments. Economy. The planning of expenditure will be systematic and there will be economy in spending. The finance will be put to optimize use. The benefits derived for the concern will ultimately extend it to industry and then to national economy. The national resources will be used economically and wastage will be eliminated. Now, standard costing and various analysis. It creates suitable conditions for the implementations of standard costing system. In a business organizations, it reveals the deviations of management from the budgeted figures after making a comparisons with actual figures. Corrective actions. The management will be able to take corrective measures whenever there is a discrepancy in performance. The deviation will be regularly reported so that necessary action is taken at the earliest in the absence of the budgetary control system. The deviation can be determined only at the end of the financial period. Consequences or consciousness. It creates budget consciousness among the employees by fixing targets for the employees. They are made conscious of their responsibility. Everybody knows what he is expected to do and he continues with his work uninterpreted. Reduces cost. In the present day competitive world, budgetary control has a significant role to play. Every businessman tries to reduce the cost of productions for increasing sales. He tries to have those combinations of products where profitability is more. Now, policy formulation, it helps in the review of current trends and framing of future policies. Limitation of budgetary control system. The list of advantages given above is impressive, but a target is not a curve or cure or for organizational yields. Budgetary control system suffers from certain limitations and those using the system should be fully aware of them. The budget plan is based on estimates. Budgets are based on forecasting, cannot be an exact science, absolute accuracy. Therefore, it is not possible in forecasting and budgeting. The strength or weaknesses of the budgetary control system depends to a large extent on the accuracy with which estimates are made. Thus, while using the system, the fact that the budget is made based on estimates must be kept in view. Danger of rigidity. Budgets are considered as a rigid document. Too much emphasis on budget may affect day-to-day operations and ignores the dynamic state of organizational functioning. Budgeting is only a tool of management. Budgeting cannot take the place of management but is only a tool of management. The budget should be regarded not as a master but as a servant. Sometimes it is believed that the introductions of a budget program alone is sufficient to ensure its success. Executions of a budget will not occur automatically. It is necessary that the entire organization must participate enthusiastically in the program for the realizations of the budgetary goals. False sense of security. Mere budgeting cannot lead to profitability. Budget cannot be executed automatically. It may create a false sense of security that everything has been taken care of in the budgets. Lack of coordinations, staff cooperations is usually not available during budgetary control exercises. Expensive technique, the installations, the the installations and operations of a budgetary control system is a costly affair as it requires the employment of specialized staff and involves other expenditure which small concerns may find difficult to incur. However, it is essential that the cost of introducing and operating a budgetary control system should not exceed the benefits derived therefrom. Essentials of effective budgeting. A budgetary control system can prove successfully only when certain conditions and attitudes exist, absence of which will uh, negate to a large extent of the value of a budget system in any business. Such conditions and attitudes which are essential for effective budgeting, such as support of top management. If the budget system is to be successful, it must be fully supported by every member of the management, and the impetus and directions must come from the very top management. No control system can be effective unless the organization is convinced that the top management considers the system to be important. Participations by responsible executives, those entrusted with the performance of the budgets, should participate in the process of setting the budget figures. This will ensure proper implementation of budget programs. Reasonable goals, the budget figures should be realistic and represent reasonably attainable goals. The responsible executives should agree that the budget goals are reasonable and attainable. Clearly defined organization. In order to derive maximum benefits from the budget system, well defined responsibility centers should be built up within the organization. The controllable cost for each responsibility centers should be separately shown. Continuous budget educations. The best way to ensure the active interest of the responsible supervisors is continuous budget educations in respect of objectives, potentials, and techniques of budgets. This may be accomplished through written manuals, meeting, etc., whereby preparations of budgets, actual results achieved, etc., may be discussed. Adequate accounting system. There is close relationship between budgeting and accounting. For the preparation of budgets, one has to depend on the accounting department for reliable historical data, which primarily forms the basis for any estimates. The accounting system should be so designed so as to set up accountants in terms of area of managerial responsibility. In other words, responsibility accounting is essential for successful budgetary control. Constant vigilance. Reports comparing budgets and actual results should be promptly prepared, and special attention focused on significant expectations, that is, figures that are significantly different from those expected. Maximum profit. The ultimate objective of realizing the maximum profit should always be kept uppermost. Cost of the system, the budget system, should not more than it is worth, since it is not participle to calculate exactly what a budget system is worth. It only implies a caution against adding expensive refinements unless their value clearly justifies them. Integration with standard costing system. Where standard costing system is also used, it should be completely integrated with the budget program in respect of both budget preparations and variance analysis.